Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm your lore bastard, Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.
We're playing The One Ring, an RPG from Free League. In case the name did not give it away, this is a...
Arthur C. Clarke's Foundation.
That's right. This is a Oh, man, I really want a Foundation RPG. Now
Doesn't
you
that
say
series last like 10 million years or something, though?
It's a very long time.
Right.
It is over... Yeah, it would be a very hard RPG to do. This is Lord of the Rings, Tolkien RPG. That takes place in the Third Age of Middle Earth in Eriador, the Lone Lands, not the Lost Lands, the Lone Lands. Our players are heroes? No, adventurers.
There you go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go quite that far.
Yeah, exploring the wilderness, pushing back the darkness. Well, 2/3 of them pushing back the darkness.
Well, 1/3 of them running towards the darkness with everything their short legs can handle.
Saying, I'm here, take me.
You barely adopted the darkness.
God.
Who are you playing, Austin?
I'm zip firing
Zip Farron, the dark.
Yeah.
the steadily growing darker adventuring dwarf.
No, we exaggerate a little. He's only done some bad things.
Yeah.
Some very bad things.
Well, shit you don't see in Lord of the Rings. Not from the
That's
good
true.
guys.
That's true, yeah. Corey, who are you playing?
He's an elf.
Ninja-like?
Yeah, he flips. I don't think he's flipped yet, but he's gonna.
Yeah. I mean, we can all feel the flip.
And you'll flip your wig for his powers.
Okay.
Damn it.
Todd, who do you have in your stable of characters?
Oh, my name is Bungo Tuk Tuk. I'm an orbit.
Yeah.
Every time I hear it, I just hate myself a little bit more.
Right?
But I can't criticize it. I mean, there's probably a Bungo Tuk Tuk.
What are you gonna name a hobbit?
Yeah.
It's like Flumbo Basket Weaver. Yeah, there's no options.
You know, Tolkien had a huge list of hobbits, I'm sure in the Silmarillion or something, going down through the genealogies. There's a solid chance there's a Bungo Tuk Tuk.
And I've heard worse real life English names.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch. What the hell is a Cumberbatch?
His father used to cumber batches. It was a job back then.
What do you... Oh, I'm the local Cumberbatch.
Need me cumberbatched, Willem?
Where's the bloody Cumberbatch? I called for him 3 days ago.
The chair recognizes Sir Geoffrey Baldersplotch.
Yeah. English.
So
What
Bungo Tuk Tuk.
the hell's wrong with those people?
Yeah.
The chair recognizes Sir Chauncey Keys Plouffe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Present. Oh, I can't wait till we get some English listeners. Burn some bridges real quick.
We'll know when they get to this episode. When you see the numbers just collapse.
The French are going to love it.
Anyway, our heroes are delving through the halls of Ederian, which is this ruined castle in the southern Blue Mountains. There were some bandits there that they dispatched, and now they are faced in the underground halls with gray-skinned, rotting, stinking, definitely not living corpses
Oh.
rising up to fight them.
Okay.
So I believe where we left last time, you guys had just ascended into a large hall. Zip identified that had some dwarven work in its past, but that the men of Ederian had modified to be one of their crypt chambers.
Right, they gentrified it.
They gentrified it,
Yeah.
into a tomb. And undead creatures had risen up from the water, dripping wet, smelling like something that's been submerged for far too long. If you've ever seen a pond dredged, probably nobody has done that except me. Maybe Austin. That seems like the sort of thing Austin would do in his life.
What, dredge a pond?
Yeah.
Be a good English name, Arthur Dretchpund. That was his job back then.
You know Arthur?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
So it's just a large room. There's not much in here other than like the sarcophagi and things like that, right?
There are passages going off in different directions, so there are other ways out of this area, and far across the hall you can see a stairway going up.
Let's head towards that.
Now there are at least six undead creatures that you can see.
Oh, I'm sure Zip wants to make friends with them, but I feel like we should head to the top of the tower and at least get the high ground on them, and we could just shoot down the stairs at them or something.
So Corey, you want to try to get across the hall without fighting these guys? That you guys can attempt that. I'm not saying.
Are they just kind of surrounding us? Is that the situation?
So they are, rising up from the murk at different points. It's not like they've been laying in one
Right.
particular ambush and are moving towards you. They're not. They're slow. They're old, waterlogged corpses. They're not runners from 28 days later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ezel's running towards the staircase and readying his bow.
Gotcha.
Zip splashes along behind him.
Bungo, given his height disadvantage, is actually going to attempt to swim underwater to the staircase.
Corey, let's start with you.
Okay.
What action are you using? What skill on your sheet to get across there are you using?
Assume athletics.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. I have 3 dice in athletics,
Okay.
and I'm favored in that. So that means I'm rolling 2d12 and 3d6, right?
Yeah. Now,
Taking the highest d12.
that's correct. Now, the water is a major obstacle, so you're
Okay.
going to drop one of your d6s.
Sure, fine.
It's minus 1d.
I don't give a I don't give a good fuck.
It's only minus 1d for you. The others
Yeah.
are going to have more problems. So what's your target number? What are you looking for here?
14. Got a 12 on the d12.
Nice.
Or
That
remember-
looks like that boy Gandalf.
Yeah,
Data boy has arisen.
that's the Gandalf rune, so that is an automatic success.
Okay, thanks.
Did you roll any 6s?
I did
on your
not.
D6s?
No.
Okay. Easel just... So there's lots of
Does he-
sarcophaguses that are up out of the water like little islands. So Easel's just like leaping daintily from one to the other until he gets across to the stairs.
Or is he flipping?
Well,
Corey?
initially, to get out of the water, I emerge much like a salmon trying to swim upstream, and I flop upwards. Yes, land on one sarcophagus. The next one, I'm springing off with my hands and then landing with my feet.
Gotcha. Just an acrobatics routine.
Yes.
And you land at the stairs. You can see they ascend upwards. You can see a dim light far above.
Okay.
Austin,
All right, here I go.
so you're going to use your athletics?
Maybe.
I mean, the water's going to impact you unless you're particularly clever here. Like to athletics, so you're a dwarf. Like what you lack in height, you make up for in stoutness. So it'd only be minus 1d for you as well.
Okay. So then I'm rolling a d12 and 1d6, counting for the...
Yeah. Now remember, you can spend some hope.
Yeah, so I'm already down to 10 hope, and I have a shadow of 6. When those meet, I have problems, right?
Yeah.
Can you explain that, Kyle? What the shadow thing does?
So each character can accumulate shadow points. And this is narratively the touch of Morgoth and Sauron in the world, the shadow. Due to choices players make in game, or if they just fail rolls, like if you face something terrible, for example, if you guys encounter a ring wraith, you'd have to test against their fear, and you could fail and be touched by shadow.
Kind of like in Cthulhu and stuff, where they can affect you with madness
Yes,
kind of thing. Gotcha.
yes, it is. It's very similar to that. So as you gain shadow points, that is always in comparison to your hope score. For example, Austin, what is your current hope right now?
My current hope is a 10.
Yeah, and so he has 6 shadow and 10 hope. So if he gets 4 more shadow points, he becomes miserable.
Or if he spends his hope, right, to
That's
lower
true.
down. Okay.
Yeah, or if he spends 4 hope to go down to his shadow, he becomes miserable.
Gotcha.
Which means anytime he rolls the Eye of Sauron, which is 1 on a 1d12, he automatically fails the roll.
Whereas normally it's just a 0.
Correct.
Gotcha.
If he accumulates sufficient shadow points to be equal to his maximum hope, all of his rolls are ill-favored, meaning if you're familiar with Dungeons & Dragons, basically that means he's rolling everything with disadvantage. He's always rolling 2d12 and taking the lowest.
That would suck.
That would suck. It's essentially, I mean, a standard, he would have a 1 in 12 chance of rolling the Eye of Sauron, then he's doubling that. Now, he can't, how do you get rid of shadow? You essentially go crazy for a second.
So as Shadow kind of built up in Boromir in Fellowship, he ultimately succumbed to madness there in the 3rd act and tried to steal the ring from Frodo.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then we see him. He tries to steal the ring, falls down, rubs some leaves on his face, comes to, figures out, oh man, I messed up. So characters in this can have that moment where they do something stupid, they succumb to madness, and that wipes out all their shadow points. The downsides are they do get a shadow flaw, which depends on what their calling was that they chose in character creation. And they can only do that 4 times. So they could, this is the path of shadow. And each one is escalating. Like, I think Austin's is the lure of power, and it starts out resentful, and the end flaw is tyrannical. So if he had to wipe out his shadow 4 times. Essentially, Zip is going to be a crazy megalomaniac.
I'm basically going to turn into Thorn Oak and Shield, like in the 3rd movie.
Yeah, and so after that 4th time, though, they can no longer wipe out shadow points due to a bout of madness. And if their shadow equals their maximum hope, they fall to shadow and the character's removed from play.
Wow.
So you go crazy, you do a golem, and you
do a golem.
Yeah. You go live in a cave for 1,000 years. You join Sauron. I presume that would be an alternative in some cases.
Yeah.
Yep, there he goes. Homeboy fucked a golem.
Yeah. So while being complicated, it is a pretty ingenious way to actually include a lot of the thematic elements of this world.
Yeah, I mean, the lure of shadow is always there in Lord of the Rings, and yeah, it should be reflected mechanically. Now, this would take a pretty long time. So unless you're just really pulling an Austin and going after the shadow, you're probably going to be okay.
Okay.
Austin's not. His Zip is not long for this world.
Right.
In a nutshell,
Yeah.
that's it.
Cool.
So, Austin, do you want to turn on your companions now, or do you want to wait a little while?
I'm going to give it just one more session and we'll see
Okay.
how it goes. Kyle, would it be possible for me to use my scan skill and say Zip is, just very expertly spotting like shallow places in the water or openings between dead bodies in order to kind of navigate his way across this pool?
Is this the Zach Galifianakis Rain Man meme where the numbers are just moving around?
It looks shockingly like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he can try to figure out, okay, so if you go past that sarcophagus and, and we can even assume, like, you're trading some blows with these ghouls. It's not a full-blown fight, but...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
All right, so then I have a scan of 3, so I'm rolling a D12 and 3D6.
2d6.
Yeah, the water does make it difficult to maneuver no matter what. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, failure here is you will be in a combat with these ghouls.
I'm going for a target number of 16. Oh, I rolled a 14.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so you got a 14, which is failure. We'll come back to you, Todd. Bungo is swimming.
So as a hobbit, one of my virtues is the art of disappearing.
Okay. Like a magic trick. You've got a fake cabinet and you go in and it's really a false bottom.
Let me explain.
Okay.
No, it says,
I just can't take it seriously with this.
I got it.
Carry on.
If a location or a situation offers even the smallest opportunity to hide or sneak silently away, make a stealth roll. If you get 1 or more successes, spend 1 to simply disappear, and I can reappear at any moment by simply stepping out into the open.
Huh.
There's a use of the rules.
Yeah, good call, Todd. There's a gurgling sound and all the water drains away. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so we see Bungo just bloop down into the water.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good idea.
I picture it more as like Captain Willard at the end of Apocalypse Now.
Instead of rising out of the water, just going into it.
Yeah, no,
Wait,
that's fair.
first of all, Bungo paints his face green.
It's just he seems smearing paint over his face in the corner.
He slaughters Marlon Brando.
And a yak.
Easel's flipping over, look at him like, what the hell, man?
Dennis Hopper's already left.
Oh, yeah, he was gone a while ago, yeah.
So Bungo is quite proficient in stealth. He has a 3 in stealth and is favored.
Okay. So in this case, Todd, the water would be more of an advantage. However, these undead creatures have been down here a long time.
They love the water and love being in it, obviously.
They're a big fan of the water, so that's going to cancel it out. So you'll be just rolling flat. So no modifiers to your D6s on this.
Okay, cool. So I'm rolling D12
2d12.
2d12.
Because you're favored, right?
Yes, 2d12 and 3d6s. Well, that could have gone better.
What did you need? What was your goal?
My target number was 16, so I rolled a 14.
Oh.
Okay, so we have 2 failures. So Bungo goes under and starts swimming. Neither the ghouls nor Easel and Zip see this, but as the audience, we see it. Every once in a while, we see Bungo pop his head up like some Navy SEAL getting closer and closer to a beach.
He fails, but he thinks he's invisible.
Yeah.
So he's just like...
No, he's invisible. Like, the ghouls do not see him. Like, one of them, like, passes straight past him.
It makes me think of like the creature in the trash compactor in the first Star Wars.
Yeah.
It pops up, looks around, and just submerges again.
And, he's going under, pulling himself along, And this was built by dwarves. At one point, he's clambering up on this worn statue, which clearly at some point was some dwarf, but now it's just this lump of stone. And he's about to leap to the stairs, and his foot hits this concealed button. There's this thunk. The statue just is sucked into the water with Bungo.
Oh no!
And there's this burbling as the water turns back to stillness. You just got sucked into a dwarven secret chamber. We'll deal with you in a minute.
Oh, shit.
God.
Austin.
So Zip is making pretty good progress across the water, and all of a sudden he stops and stares and goes, "Oh, we hit one of the fucking dwarf buttons," and watches this statue get sucked into the water. And while he's distracted, he gets waylaid by one of these bodies and knocked into the water.
Agul just Goldberg spears Zip. Oh, fuck. And they go tumbling.
I think the main issue here is Zip peed in the water, and all these are undead former lifeguards.
They're so angry.
Like, you gotta pee in the water?
So we're going to do a short combat between Zip and this putrid corpse. Essentially, you can only be in the forward position, but you could be, well, the close combat, but you could be open, defensive, or forward.
Going forward.
Can Ezel get in on this? I mean, he's obviously seeing what's happening, right?
So here's the deal. Ezel could come back.
I mean, I just ran to the mouth of the stairway.
So Ezel can escape or return. Now, Zip is not necessarily going to have to fight all 6 of these guys. If he can get past this one
Okay.
quickly enough,
Gotcha.
and
He
I'll
probably
roll.
won't, though, so I just want to be ready.
I'll roll a die in secret to know how many rounds he has to get past it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you can stay and tie yourself to his fate.
Gotcha.
So, Austin, you're going to be, forward, which you get a plus 1d to your attack rolls, but close combat attacks against you are at 1d.
Yeah, they also get an extra die.
Now, Corey, are you engaging or are you staying rearward to engage from range?
So basically, I can wait to see if he succeeds in getting past this thing before I decide to do that.
You could. I would say you can be rearward and
Sure.
engage at range and not abandon your position. However, like, if you fight at all,
I'm in on the fight.
you're in on the fight and whatever happens to him.
In this game, can you disengage at any time in combat, or whatever the rules are in that?
So there is a rule called fly, you fools. You have 2 options to escape a fight. You can assume a rearward stance and then choose to escape when your turn to act comes. You don't have to roll. The same applies to any adversaries who choose to stand back and remain unengaged. The second option is you can assume a defensive stance, roll for your attack normally. If your attack roll is a success, you don't inflict any damage but manage to leave the battlefield instead.
Okay.
If the attack roll fails, the combat remains engaged. So, Austin, you could, instead of being forward and trying to hack it down to get past it, you could go on the defensive, which would all close combat attacks at you lose minus 1d, but your attack roll loses minus 1d. But if you made a successful attack, you would escape up the stairs with Ezel.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm just going to fight this fucker off.
Okay, so you're staying forward. Corey?
I mean, it sounds like me staying rearward, which was what I was going to do, doesn't really have a downside in this situation.
It does not. You
Okay.
could. Your first action could be, screw the dwarf, I'm gone.
Right. I'm going to stay rearward. I'm not so much concerned about the dwarf as I am Bungo.
So for this combat, there will be no opening volleys because obviously Zip was trying to avoid the fight, and it came to him. But Austin, you can still take the first action since you're forward.
All right, so Zip spins around and holds up the mattock and says, "All right, cousin Lester, come on, let's do this," and swings at the Walking Dead.
Okay.
Cousin Lester.
Well,
I just want to see the mental acrobatics in Zip's mind that lead him to that name.
All right, so then I'm swinging the mattock at the walking corpse.
And what's your target number?
more of a waiting corpse, to be fair.
So my target numbers are 14. I have a skill of 3 in axes, so I'm rolling a d12 and 3d6. All right, I rolled a 15.
So your first blow, you just split this thing open like a rotting fish.
Well, they're so clammy. It's got to be easy to cut them open.
Desiccated entrails spill into the water. He just cuts this thing in half.
Well, all right, here I go. And Zip turns and pelts toward the staircase.
Yeah, Zip, comes squelching up the stairs to where Easel is standing, and the two of you can escape unless you wish to engage the others.
Come on, you wet-looking beaver. Let's go upstairs.
Yeah, we gotta find the hobbit.
His fate is in Gandalf's hands now. Come on, let's go. That boy, I mean. The elvish name for him. That boy.
So the two of you escape up the stairs to wherever that leads.
Can Zip make a scan check to look around to see if there are any passages that might lead down?
Or more bad buttons.
You can take as many actions as you wish. Each one will tick the clock, and the creatures are getting closer to you.
So I'm going to do that real quick because I have a good chance of success. Zip is still holding his flintlock torch, which is built to enhance the scan skill. I didn't even remember to use it while I was trying to navigate the water, but I'm going to use it now. So,
and you're trying. What's your goal here?
To basically orient myself and see if there are any passages that might lead down to where Bungo disappeared. And also, like Corey said, to watch out for more dwarven traps.
Well, you can do one or two of those. You
okay.
can do
well,
one
I'll
one
look
of
for the
those.
passages leading down.
Okay.
I'll look out for traps.
Okay.
Watch out for snakes.
So, yeah, Corey, you can roll your scan.
Or could I use lore in this situation? My reasoning being I know of the type of traps that dwarves typically leave out.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
I do that. I'm favoring lore, and I have 3 dice on it.
Okay. Each of you are at minus 1d because there are undead creatures advancing towards you, and you don't exactly have a lot of time to spend.
As I think back over my 2,813
Screech!
years.
Screech!
Oh, yes. These clammy jammies.
Get to walking, or at least go. And Zip starts looking around. So I'm going to roll my scan. Target number for wits is a 16.
Okay.
So I rolled a 23 with 2 successes.
Okay, so we'll get you to second. Corey, you want to roll yours?
Okay.
And you're looking for traps and doors, secret doors?
Sure. So my target number was 14. I did not get it. I got a 13.
So the men of Arnor modified this chamber to such an extent that...
Oh, no, there's man buttons, too?
Yeah.
Oh, I never
It's
studied that.
A lot of times that covers over the original Dwarven architecture.
That class was after lunch at
Yeah.
elf school. I got sleepy and didn't pay attention to my man trap class.
Yeah, the first class after lunch is just a waste of time.
Forget about it. Yeah. That's why I can't do math to this day. What's a bedition?
So Zip sees there's a passage to your right where you can see the water is lapping up against the threshold of this door, and every once in a while it'll splash over it and run down. Given your knowledge of architecture and your understanding of underground structures, the way that tunnel curves, it will almost certainly lead to the exit of whatever trap door or hidden passage Bungo went down.
That and the sign that says Hobbit Torture Chamber.
Yeah.
Downward.
So you guys have a choice. You can go up the steps and escape, or you can go down that way. You will certainly run into Bungo at some point, but the ghouls will continue to chase you while you're underground.
Well, there's the question we have for ourselves, Austin. Do we lure the whites down that way and then run away and let Bungo deal with it? No. You know what I'm saying? Is this something we don't know what's down there? I mean, do we leave Bungo to his fate, or do we potentially? I mean, it could be nice down there, and he's used to living in holes.
He starts a new life.
Yeah, meets a nice lady.
He's down there with a giant turkey leg, a pint of ale.
I don't know. What do you think, Austin?
All right, so thinking quickly, or at least quickly for Zip, he takes his flintlock torch and hurls it through the doorway and hopes to maybe light the way so that Bungo can maybe find his way out, and then turns around, looks at Easel, and says, "Let's get up the fucking stairs," and then runs.
Okay.
Roll your athletics.
For running or for throwing?
For throwing.
Oh, okay. I have a skill of 2 in athletics. My strength target number is a 14.
And remember, kids, he is throwing a torch at a door with water lapping up against it.
Oh, hey.
Shh, Todd, shh.
Oh, I rolled an 11.
Okay, so he hurls the torch.
At his own face.
It is on fire. It disappears into the darkness of this doorway. We hear a clattering sound, and we'll figure out what happens to the torch in a minute.
Okay.
Easel and Zip turn as the ghouls are clambering up the steps after them. Bunch of wet and sodden hands and feet slapping up these steps, and they run up to the surface. So we see this vast underground cave. It's deep, wide, but there's this platform clearly of dwarven manufacture around this big column, also built by dwarves, and there's a bridge that extends off into the darkness. Dwarven runes, and on this platform, this underground foyer, so to speak, a crude camp has been set. There's clearly a dwarf in rough leathers, shabby cloak. He's got a little bit of a fire going deep underground. He's got a pitted and scarred axe that he's trying to sharpen. You see him cock his head, and we hear this gurgling, burbling noise. And up on this pillar, which he's near, is this drain spout. And he looks, and we hear this rush of water. This spew of water comes out, slams into the dwarf. He, Rah! And then a hobbit slams into him. Bungo and the dwarf are tangled up in each other. The water splashes over the fire. Bungo and the dwarf are rolling towards the edge. Bungo goes over the edge. One hand grabs onto the platform. Bungo is dangling, hanging from a precipice over an impossible drop. The dwarf gets to his feet, spluttering, "What the hell are you?"
I'm a hobbit. Bungo Tuk-Tuk's me name.
What the fuck's a hobbit?
Well, as you can tell, I'm a small person. A halfling, you might say.
You're very calm, hanging as you are. He's looking over you. Are you high?
As a matter of fact, I am.
Do you have any weed on you?
I have a balm, wink.
Sturdy dwarven hands grab Bungo, pull him up.
I appreciate you saving me life there, mate. Perhaps to show my thanks, I shall play a song on my recorder.
Or we can smoke some weed.
Bungo takes out the recorder and blows into it, but it's filled with water, and it's let's partake of me balm.
He says, "I'll get the fire going. What's your name?"
My name is Bungo Tuk-Tuk. What's your name?
Is that really your name? I thought you were just bullshitting me earlier.
No, it's Bungo Tuk-Tuk. I am one of the Tuk-Tuks from the Shire. Not related to the single Tuks, though. We hate the single Tuks. Fuck those guys.
He gets the fire going. He looks at you and says, "Just call me Weeks." And he's about to say something, and then from a side passage, we see this torch come flying out of the darkness, slam into his head.
Oh my God.
He stumbles and falls, he's bleeding.
Weird that a torch would just come flying out of nowhere like that. It's a good thing I've been in here by myself the whole time.
What the hell's going on?
I don't know. Let me get me healing balm. And Bungo rubs it on the...
Do you have a healing balm?
I do.
Well, that's convenient.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have healing skill?
Yes, I do have healing. Yeah.
Okay, well, you can try to heal his injury. It's bleeding quite a bit.
Okay, yeah.
Somebody threw it with some force.
Okay, so I have a 1. Part of my traveling gear is a balm for pain. It's a healing balm.
Sure.
And so I have a 1 in my healing.
Yeah, that's one of the useful items we have.
Gotcha.
That added some stats to...
My recorder is also a useful item,
Damn,
which enhances song.
Damn, you're like Batman over there with your little tiny utility belt.
Do you want to spend a point of hope to help heal this guy?
I do, absolutely. That will knock my hope down to 12, which I think is still a good number. 2 D6s and a D12.
Cool.
Target number's 13.
You can have a bonus die because this is not a serious injury.
Nice.
And you've been around a lot of head injuries. Hobbits bump into things all the time.
Constantly. That's a 15.
So you patch up Weeks' noggin. You notice that the torch is clearly one that Zip was carrying earlier.
Oh, yeah.
It's this flintlock torch he made. And Weeks and you start smoking weed. And once he's blazed, he looks at you. "What are you doing down here?"
Actually, it was with a couple of me mates. We were on a quest.
Other runts?
No, one of them is a dwarf fella like yourself. Then there's an elf.
Knife ears.
Is there just one slur against the
Yeah.
elves? Okay.
He said, I assume the dwarf's not from, and he gestures around, from around here.
Oh, no, I don't believe so, but perhaps you're familiar with him. His name is Zip.
Nope. Why are you at Naragnala?
So there's this groovy chick. Her name is Gilrayan, and she sent us on this quest because there was all kinds of weird hoobie-jooby happening around this tower, and people were disappearing and whatnot. And apparently there was a king's treasure, and you could get like really richy rich and go to the topmost of the poppamost.
Well, I only know what some of those words mean.
That's brilliant hobbiting, by the way.
I assume you're talking about the Hall of Ederian?
Yeah, that's at the Hall of Ederian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're in Naragnala.
May I ask what you're doing just hanging out here all lonely-wonely?
My relations and myself don't get along, so I tend to stick to the upper halls, which they think are cursed.
So you're a real nowhere man.
I'm a dwarf, first off. I don't know what that means. Well, look, my relatives are not as friendly as I, so you don't want to go any further down.
Oh, they live farther down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know. I'm cool staying up here with you, Mr. Weeks.
He kicks a rock over the edge, and it takes a long time before you hear it hit anything. Do you know how to get back to the surface?
Do you happen to know the way?
Yeah. It's dangerous. There's dead things that walk around. And lately there have been some men.
I think we killed some of those men.
Oh, good. And then there's the lady Elwyn. Elwyn was the lady of the tower. I guess Ederian was her husband. I'm not sure how men do it. And he makes like some screwing motions with his fingers. And the tower fell and didn't go well for her guy. And she went mad and she's something else now and it's bad.
Well, she's still here, so...
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's not technically alive anymore. I mean, I can show you to the surface, but that's as far as I'm gonna take it.
All right, I'm going to take you up on that. If
Yeah.
you'll take me back to the surface, I can hook up with me mates, and I can tell them what you've told me.
And Weeks takes you down some dwarven tunnels and up a secret way into these ruins above ground, a tower rising above you. The whole land is surrounded in shadowy fog, but there's weak sunlight.
Is this the tower where the...
Keep your voice down.
I'm sorry, is this the tower?
You think we just got a lot of towers around here? Like maybe there's another tower and I just took you to the wrong tower?
Well, I've heard there were 2 towers in some places.
Yeah, but which ones are there? There's like 9 towers in that fucking movie.
Weeks slaps the shit out of you. Shut up. Sorry. She'll hear us. And he looks genuinely terrified. He's holding onto his axe, white knuckle grip. Be careful out there. He's backing away down, back into the building from which you guys emerged. Be careful, Tuk. She's dangerous.
I will. Thank you for all your help, Mr. Weeks.
Just Weeks, damn it. And he disappears into the shadows, and you can hear booted feet pick up into a run. And you are alone in this ruined town, buildings meant for men, hollow doorways, and barren windows like empty eye sockets staring down on you. Low fog filling the streets, the tower rising above you. There's no rotted smell. It's dry and desiccated.
Is this an underground city, or is
No,
he actually on the surface?
He's on the surface.
Okay.
Okay.
And from a nearby building, you see 2 shadows emerge. Shapes moving towards you.
Bungo draws his short sword.
Austin, say whatever Zip would say when he comes out above ground.
Oh, hey, we're above ground.
Yeah,
And you hear Zip.
but it's not actually Ezel with him. It's the woman of danger.
It's the Witch King of Angmar. Zip's best friend since high school. No, it is Zip and Ezel.
Fellas, it's me, Bungo Tuk.
Oh, my God, Bungo. Did you find your way out with my torch?
Appreciate the effort there, my dwarf buddy, but I actually ran into one of your kind.
Oh, did you? That's interesting.
Actually, your torch did help because it hit him in the head, and I had to use me
Jesus
healing balm.
Christ.
Had to use me healing balm. You should have seen it. It was this really cool. I was like underwater, and there was like this octopus's garden, and there was all this stuff down there, and then I came up. So Bungo tells Ezel and Zip the story that Weeks relayed to him about Elwyn.
All right, so then I guess are we headed toward this tower? Is that where she's supposed to be?
So, Kyle, is the underground lair like where Bungo was just at? That's the cursed dwarf area, or
Yes.
the danger dwarves.
That's
sign or something.
Naragnala.
And the tower above it is still the one we're looking for because
Yes.
the lights up there. Okay,
Yeah, that is the Hall of Ederian.
okay, let's go.
All right, so then the men built this town on top of the mountains, and the
Bingo.
dwarves still dwell beneath it.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, so yeah, it's just like a condo.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a timeshare.
God.
Or an inverted townhome.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
It's like a crooked duplex. The mission remains clear, my friends. We got to get up that tower.
All right, let's go.
So you guys begin advancing through the ruins toward the tower. It is not a long trip, but you have to work around piles of rubble and ruined buildings. So how are you guys finding your way to the tower? You can see it, but there's obviously some terrain between you and it.
Okay.
Everything's covered by this low fog, which should not be here. The sun is out, but it doesn't burn away. Are you sticking to the streets? Are you climbing through the buildings, over the rubble?
Like rooftop running?
Yeah.
It's probably a bad idea
Yeah.
considering the shortness of some of our friends.
Started to say, given what Bungo has told us, I imagine we have sufficient reason to try and stick to the shadows.
Can I ask you this, Kyle,
You can.
as a friend?
Sure. That has no meaning here, but carry on.
Can Ezel travel by rooftop, keeping somewhat of a lookout while the little fellers stay low, as they do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, could we call that an assist to any stealth checks Zep might have to make?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Can I get up there and like scan or something to look for more floppy wet people?
Yes.
Okay. We'll roll scan then.
Okay.
It's 1D. I'm going to use a hope.
Okay.
I haven't used a lot, so down to 8. And my scan is 1 dice. Target number 14. So that makes it 2 dice with that hope.
Correct.
Goddamn, 12, man. Terrible
So,
elf.
Easels is advancing on the rooftops, light-footed, because they are crumbling and ruined. Zip and Bingo.
That's his name-o.
Zip and
Zip and
Bungo.
Bingo. It's like suddenly we're just clowns.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is. It sounds like a Christian puppet show.
Zip and Bungo are hustling through the streets. Are you guys trying to be stealthy, or are you just...
Oh, we're absolutely trying to be stealthy.
Just trying not to sin.
So roll your stealth. Both of you can roll your stealth.
Okay.
My stealth is 3, and I'm favored, so that's 2 D12s and 3 D6s. And my target number for stealth is 16. Oh, there's that boy.
DBG.
So Bungo is a shadow.
Yep.
He just melds into the wall. Yeah. He's like Tobias as in the Blue Man makeup.
Austin, what'd you get?
Did Easel help keeping a watch help us at all?
Well, he failed his roll, so
okay.
I'll let you answer that question.
Staring at a chimney. This is where Santa comes down.
And just like that, Bungo was forgiven of all his sins.
All right, so I'm going to spend a point of hope so that I can actually... I mean, my target number is 16. I can't just roll a D12,
I mean, you can.
but without that boy... All right, so then my target number is 16. I'm rolling a D12 and a D6. Well, I rolled a 6.
Well,
So Zip and Bungo are making their way through the streets, trying to stick to the shadows, being quick and quiet. Easel is prancing elvishly across the rooftops. There is this keening, screeching sound. All your eyes are drawn to the tower just instantly. Bungo is standing beside this doorway, and we see a hand come out and grab him and pull him into the darkness. and it's Weeks. He grabs Bungo, pulls him back, and Weeks is whispering, "You gotta be quiet now, boy." Outside, this presence, unseen but felt, sweeps through the streets, over Ezel and over Zip. So you'll need to make a shadow test to resist the unnatural dread. You're going to roll your Valor in this case.
Oh, okay.
It's a D12 with D6s equal to your rating.
Okay. So I think we all should have a rating of 1.
Yes.
Yeah, and they spell it the English way. I'm not cool with that.
Yeah.
Spelled like velour.
Yeah.
Potentially, you can take up to 3 shadow points on this roll. Each success you get reduces one of those.
Okay.
Zip also has a virtue called Untamable Spirit. He gets a plus 1d when resisting shadow.
Okay.
So I'm rolling 2d6 and a d12.
You're going to use any hope?
So you got 6 shadow and how much hope left?
9.
Ooh.
So if I fail at all, it's immediately going to match. So no.
Okay, roll your dice, Austin.
All right. Ooh, that boy.
Hey, there he is.
Total of 22.
Okay, so you were successful on the roll. Did you roll any 6s?
I did not. 2 5s.
That means you only take 2 shadow points.
Ouch. So that's under heart, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so my target number is fucking 18.
No.
Not much heart to this elven punk.
Or maybe he's got too much.
You know, that may be what it is.
It's already full.
I have no shadow thus far. I'm going to use another hope
There you go.
to make that 2d6 here. That boy got no 6s.
But you did succeed on the roll?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I got a Gandalf.
So that is a success. So you only take 2 points of shadow.
Oh, great.
So this presence sweeps over Ezel and Zip. Your immediate impulse is to hide.
I jumped down the chimney.
You both move in opposite directions, scattered by this presence, and are lost in the swirling fog. In the darkness of where they're hiding, Weeks looks at Bungo and says, "We gotta find him before she does. This is how she does it. She splits you up, and then she guts you like a fish. But it'll be easier if your friends are smart and brave."
That could be a problem.
And we'll end there.
Oh, boy.
So you're being hunted by the fell wraith, Lady Elwyn Ederian.
Man, it's pretty hard to hit some of these target numbers sometimes.
It is.
Jeesh, man.
Yeah.
This game does not mince dice.
Well,
is that a term people use in these games?
It is now.
Yeah.
These are beginning characters, so it is a little tougher.
Sure. Do we level up in these games?
Yeah.
Oh,
you can
okay.
get, you can get more dice for your
I start to
stuff.
say our progression, really just has to do with like adding ratings to our skills.
Yeah. I mean, my lowest target number is 14, but you know what else is tough? Anything until you practice it for a while, and then you get good.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
Looking for some sunshine.
You know what else is tough? Making friends. But Bungo made one.
And look at that. Weeks, named after Patreon subscriber Sean Weeks. Thank you, Sean. You're a goddamn beautiful
Dwarf.
Dwarf, yes.
Thank you to Sean. Thank you to all our Patreon members.
First time you run into somebody in a cavern that doesn't want to riddle with you.
Right?
But isn't Bungo really good at riddling?
He is. That's
man.
his best talent. Yeah.
I should have had him wanted to riddle you. That
How
would've
often
worked.
does that come up? Like once in the entire Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Start to say,
Right.
and it's enough to be a skill.
So thank you for listening. Thank you to our sponsor, Barrel and Bond.
Barrel and Brawn. Yeah.
Barrel and Brawn.
Yeah, it's Tyrion's sellsword.
Oh, that's a really good name for a bar.
I know, Barrel and Brawn.
Barrel and Brawn.
Yeah. Yeah, 100 Broadway, downtown Paducah, Kentucky. Check them out, like, for real. We're not just whistling Dixie.
Well, we go there all the time.
What the hell does that mean?
It's a RPG term.
well, thank you for listening. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
I'm Corey.
I'm Austin.